So now, moving to our KCC Talks. It's my pleasure to introduce our speaker. I'm a little bit melancholy about it because this is his last all-employee meeting with us. But it's okay. Oh, sorry, right? I'm happy. This is a happy time. So Mohammed Shabbir, known affectionately on campus as M. Shabbir, known by his rivals as DJ Shabbir, has been an employee of Klamath Community College for 8 years. He's been the recipient of the 2017 Support Staff Leadership Award, and he has been serving as the registrar for the last 5 years. On December 31st, 2017, he left KCC to take a position at Oregon Tech as a retention project coordinator. He stayed as part-time at KCC, and really he was only gone for about 2 months before he was back here full-time. So we're glad that he came back to us. He's a native of the country of Bangladesh, first arrived in the United States as an international student, where he became educated in information technology and aerospace engineering. He's passionate about music, enjoys cycling and snow skiing. He's turned his love for music into a side career, as I mentioned, where he moonlights as a DJ. He is the oldest of 7 children, proud son of Gulshan Begum and M. Zafir, who was a former banker for the internationally renowned Lloyd's of London. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Shabbir to give us our KCC Talks.
Thank you. Here is this or this? Sure. This one's fine. Well, thank you. Can you hear me? Thank you, Mr. Joshua Guest, for such a kind introduction.
Oh, there it is.
Okay. So when he first introduced me last time, he said he's going to talk about his DJ Shabbir. So I was all ready with some nice pictures of my DJ life, and then on Friday or Thursday I talked to him, and he said, "Well, share your wisdom. That would be more appropriate for the audience." So anyway, I decided that I'm going to go ahead and talk about my experience as an international student, which might benefit since they're all coming to us here pretty soon. I'll go ahead. Let me go back quickly just to my name, the mystery of my name, M. Shabbir. What was the reason, how it became Mohammed Shabbir, from Mohammed Shabbir to M. Shabbir. My dad also had his name as Mohammed Zafir, and he changed it to M. Zafir. So since I never had the opportunity to talk to him intimately since I came here right after high school, I never had a chance before he passed away to ask why, what was the reason. But I heard that once upon a time his last name was Hassan. But he was because of his hereditary connection to the Persians. And he really did not speak well the local language of Bangladesh. So anyway, he decided to change his name for some reason, and then he decided not to have Hassan in our names either. So all our brothers all have different last names, just Shabbir, Zafir, Dad, and Tanvir, Kabir, Sagir. But first name is M. Anyway, now back to my presentation, which I titled The Solo Journey of an International Student. I thought that it would be better to talk about that experience than talk about anything else, only because I'm hoping that at the end of my presentation, you'll walk away with some insights, some ideas to mull over on how to accommodate the international students who are coming here. So let me go ahead and start by saying that my ambitions to come to the United States started with my science project in high school. In 10th grade, I did science projects in communication satellites and displacement in the space and cyclotron, which is used for radiation therapy. And then I had to do research, a lot of research, because it was a national competition, and I had to do well to represent my school, which was actually an American school, St. Gregory's, affiliated with some Indiana college. So I did a lot of research, and for that, I had to go to British Council Library and American Center Library. Between two of them, I had to find information because Bangladesh didn't have much resources in aerospace technology. So while I was going back and forth and pretty much spending all afternoon after high school, I kind of became fascinated by the resources and the books available at the American Council Library. So that's when I started dreaming about coming to the United States, because I was really fascinated with all those materials. So that was just the beginning. And then it was difficult for me to convince my parents, because even though we were middle to upper middle class people with a decent income, but we were 7 brothers and sisters. And it was hard for our parents to spend all their money on one child when they have 6 other children to worry about. Anyway, so I went ahead and tried to convince my parents, look, I'm your best hope also, because well, it has to go back to my, academic achievement in junior high school, because that I will succeed if I go there. But it was not easy. It was almost like when your child goes away to join military, you just don't know what's going to happen, whether the child will come back or not, things like that. So it was more than just money. Anyway, I was able to convince anyway, just because the way our culture works is that the oldest son pretty much becomes the dad of the family when dad passes away. So just to let you know, all these international students who come here for education, yes, but they also come with a lot of burden on their shoulders, because they have to take care of the families if dad passes away. And so that was one of the things I had to convince them. And then I said that all you have to do is just give me money for one term, one semester, and I'll find my ways to support myself. So he did, and really, because of the large family, and my dad was a generous person in helping all the other family members on animals, and I've become a true copy of him now. And anyway, so they gave me the money for the dorm expenses and the first term tuition, all that, and I came with that money. And I found a part-time job right away, on-campus job. Of course, as an international student on F1 visa, I could only work up to 20 hours. Anyway, so I was okay with that, and I was lucky enough that I was able to secure scholarships right after the first term. And ever since then, I have received one form of another financial assistance and grant to continue on and finish my education. So what I was going to bring up is that some important points about international students, that they come with a burden, as I mentioned, because there are a lot of expectations of them to go back and serve the country. If they come on scholarships, with scholarships, they have to go back, serve the government or the country. And in my case, take care of my family. Then they also, and I wrote down just to make sure that I don't miss any one of them, that they come here, and to leave them alone on their own is not a good idea. I think that that's what happened to me. I moved out of the dorm, and I was distracted by a lot of other things in the community. Changed my major, changed universities, and it always turned out to be I'm starting everywhere in January, winter term. And anyway, so it was not easy to get scholarships either, but I was just lucky to find a few resources. And then I learned that I wish I had a mentor throughout my entire, college life, which I didn't, because the career ambitions we come here with may not necessarily be the same or aligned with the education and its pathways in this country. So we might be totally delusioned with our career ambition and education. So a career advisor, a mentor, I wish I had those. And I know that KCC has a very strong career advising department. So I'm confident that the international students will have some good resources here to begin with. And then so that's So I finally finished my education. Throughout my college, I had part-time job. I was always involved with student service in student government activities, and and that is student government activities or involvement with the activities on campus made me more of a extrovert person. Otherwise, I was always an introvert person. I wouldn't go out and hang out with anybody. I would do everything on my own. And that's why I call my talk's title The Solo Journey, because I pretty much did everything on my own. I applied, I researched, I took all the tests to qualify, like SAT, ACT, TOEFL. Dr. Griffith, I mentioned that in the forum. And then I got involved with all these activities and became more of an extrovert person. And that's how I became interested in music. Because when I was a radio DJ at Oregon State, I used to get hired to do events for IFC, Interfraternity Council events, and they paid me $75 when the minimum wage was between $380 and $425. So that's how my DJ career started. But I am not regretting that, because the DJ income has helped me to support a little bit more than what I could otherwise. My poor family members, helping people with animal veterinary bills locally, and other numerous things for the community. And then what I would end up with is that my professional career. I've worked in many different areas, and I think the reason I was able or lucky to find jobs in different areas was because of my well-rounded education. And that included a lot of arts and letters and social science classes. I took a lot of them during college. Even though as technical as I was, as introvert I took a lot of those classes. And that helped me finding jobs very easily. Last but not least, I thank KCC. I thought KCC for giving me the opportunity to work here, because they look at candidates for their potential as opposed to just education, and I'm really thankful for that they gave me the opportunity. This is a great place, and I'll end up with just one last comment, is that ever since I came here, I saw this under VP Jennings' email title, Student Success Matters Most. And that driven me all these last 8 years. And I tell you, everybody helps students to graduate. But I've gone into a little bit deeper. When I see a student graduate who used to call me and ask me when they were in trouble, academic trouble, how to write, what do I submit as a supporting document? Or this is what you should write. I know I didn't have the time, but that part, the success of student, it was so important to me that I took the time to help them. And when they graduated, and we still manually type the name for the diploma, that feelings is priceless, that student finally graduated, and we're ordering their diploma. And I'll end with that. Thank you very much for your time.